channel. This is going to be one of the first videos as part of a series which will cover my long journey of the dash upgrade or swap on the Mustang 2006 that I have, in which I'm going to be putting this 2014 dash that I have custom made. So I'm gonna go through all the changes and the modifications that I've done through the dash, all the additions that are needed, or any other parts that I need to swap on top of just the dash itself. And in the next videos you'll see the actual dash swap. So welcome to the channel. So the reason why I am going with modifying a dash instead of just doing a 2014 complete dash swap, complete 2014 harness and everything else. My car, right there in the back, is a built 3-valve with supercharger and everything else. So I don't want to go through the hassle of putting a Coyote in it and doing the harness swap. Because of that, I'm kind of stuck on using the 2006 harness and all the electronics and all of those things. The 2014 harness is completely different on the plugs, on the wiring. Ford's done a lot of changes, including on how, like, for example, the windows go up and down, the number of wires that go in there, the number of wires for the AC controls, for the power, for the lights and things like that are all completely different. So because of that, I can't really just it's a lot of work to just modify or to use that harness and make everything else work in the car. So I don't feel like going through the hassle. So here's some of the things I'm doing with the car, with the dash, that are different than other people. So as you can see, I've also custom covered all of the dash in Alcantara suede. It's pardon the mess and everything. I have way too many projects I'm starting on this car. But so this airbag cover has all the stitching required. So then, in case of an airbag deployment, the stitching will break, the cover will break, and the airbag will still deploy properly. This is the biggest thing that I've done different than everyone else. This is a stereo plate that I've bought that was initially going to work with a different AC control unit for the 2014 and do a stereo on the bottom. So what I have done on this, I have pretty much hacked together pieces from an 06 with the cover, with the frame itself, to be able to fit the 2006 AC controls. This is just a temporary control. I still have my original one in the car, but I'm planning on just using the 06 AC controls, 06 traction control buttons, my color buttons, and just an aftermarket stereo. I already have an Android stereo that I use, so I'll be continuing to go the Android route. So that's gonna just work really well with that. In the center over here, and as you can tell, all the panels are just kind of temporarily put. We have the start button. I have if you've seen any of my other videos, I have a passive keyless entry into the car with the push to start. So now the push to start button is going to be sitting here, hidden, instead of a 12-volt plug, which I have no use for anyways. The headlight switch over here, I have actually come up with a interesting solution. I have the wiring and everything from the original switch with the auto, which I actually don't plan on using this switch. So what I plan on doing, let me just put this in there for now. I bought a light switch. Yeah, this these power cables are freaking thick. This is from a Ranger. Slight modifications to the frame, and I can actually put that switch right in here without any issues whatsoever. The wiring for the cluster illumination, I either plan on using this one and just repin the connector to work with this, or I plan on using my old one and making it fit in here. I haven't really decided yet. If you pay attention to the gauges, you'll notice that they are way different than what the 2014 set of gauges looks like. If I pull this out, put that over there for now. You can see this is just temporarily sitting. This is my test cluster. Whoops. Yeah, test cluster, as I said. You can see that this is a 2006 cluster with modified gauges. These are the 2014 gauges that I have modified to have longer stalks, because the 2014 gauges have really short stalks and they don't really fit on the motors, on the stepper motors. But I've modified this. I had to trim a few pieces out of it on the bottom. It still bolts in just fine on the top side, and it will go with the 2014 cluster cover. All the gauges still sit fine. They work just fine. The speed works fine. The RPM works fine and everything. And when you put this in, it's like it was made for this dashboard. No, I don't have to deal with repinning or figuring out how to hack the cluster of a 2014, because all the electronics on that are way different as well. I've already looked at the pinning of the 2014 dash, and it's completely different. On the center console, I've gotten this one wrapped in Alcantara as well. You'll see some changes in here, and I'll cover that in a second. These buttons, for now, they'll keep these logos, but I plan on maybe making some custom covers for them. But this will be my trunk button, and these two will control my exhaust cutouts to open and close. So that's going to be that over here. And I've gotten as you can see, a custom Alcantara parking brake boot as well. And then this one in here is where I will have my airlift controller. It will be sitting here all nice and flush, and I can still open the cover and have fully working cup holders. So that's one of the changes that I've done to this one as well. I want to make this to look as OEM as possible. I need to just make a boot for the shifter as well. That's going to come later. But yeah, to show you the interior of the car, of the current configuration, I have done a 2015 or 2017 steering wheel swap. I've gotten most of the wiring figured out. I plan on using a voltage regulator for the stereo that will help also stabilize the resistive value of the buttons in here. I've noticed that they sometimes fluctuate, which causes the input that goes from here to be read completely different by the stereo. So maybe the voltage regulator will fix that. But airbag works fine. Everything works fine in here. And so that's where the dash will go in to replace this guy. I also have these Recaro seats. If you notice, the skins don't match between the driver and the passenger side. I will have a video on how the skins will be swapped. I got another set that matches the passenger side, so we'll do a video that covers switching the skins and also what you need to do to modify your Recaro seat to have lumbar support and also electric frame, which most Recaros or all Recaros that you buy for up to a 14 are still manual all the way. So there you have it. This is a quick preview and intro on what we'll be doing on the Mustang. And subscribe and watch the channel for what's to come. Thank you.